guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today what I wanted to do is a library book haul. Oh dear. I have added to my springtime charms. You'll remember I put out my flowers a few months ago. Those haven't worked yet, so now I have a little sign that says Think Spring. Because we're going to be thinking spring here in Chicago, and maybe spring will come. Without further ado, let's get into this book haul. I do know quite a bit about a lot of these books. A few of them I have already read, and they will be coming in a wrap-up that I will be filming very shortly. Read also today. Okay, so the first group of books that I wanted to show you guys are nonfiction books. So I'm going to start with the one that's kind of the oddball of the group, and that is Guns of August. Now this is a book that talks about World War I. Talks about the outbreak of World War I. So this is kind of a weird thing. I think that somewhere along the way, all of my history classes and knowledge and all of that has completely vanished. In fact, my parents are World War II history buffs. My boyfriend is a World War II history buff. I have no idea where my lack of knowledge has stemmed from, but I'm really bad at history. One of the things I wanted to do this year was try and kind of teach myself a little bit about history. So I thought that I would start with World War I because I think World War II is a great one to read about, but I think World War I sets the premise for World War II, if that makes sense. So yeah, I thought I would pick this one up. It's supposed to be really, really good. It's supposed to be really, really well written. This is the Pulitzer Prize winning classic, so it's, I mean, obviously, it's gonna be really good. The second one is a book that a lot of people have read and I just never did, and that is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. So I'm a bit of a true crime buff, especially when it comes to TV shows. Why don't you read any true crime books? I was like, well, yes. Fair point, self. So I picked up probably a defining classic in that genre. So this, if you don't know, is written very much like a novel. It doesn't really feel like a nonfiction book. It follows the murder of a family in Kansas that is carried out by these two men, and kind of how it got to this point, what happens to these guys, how they catch them, the whole ordeal, and kind of talks about, you know, violence in America and how it gets to this point. Now the next three books are kind of, I'm going to group them together as kind of a subset of this subset, and that is space. First is Death by Black Hole by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is basically what is considered like the next generation's Sagan. He's an astrophysicist, he's very likable, he's a very good speaker, he's a very good writer. But if you ever really want to learn more about space, I would say you have two really good options with Sagan and then with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I thought I would give this guy a try. Next in the space theme is Physics of the Impossible. This is slightly less spacey and slightly more physics of things that occur in sci-fi and fantasy and that sort of thing. So this is written by Michio Kaku, who you may not recognize the name, but I would bet that you would recognize his face. So there you go. If you see any sort of documentary on space or anything about theoretical physics, you will see him being interviewed because he is a co-founder of string theory. So this is his book for laymen. Turns out that even if a theoretical physicist, who is the co-founder of string theory, writes a book about physics for laymen, it is still really dense and really hard. So I've gotten approximately 30 pages into it, and I've had to stop and take a break because my brain is melting a little bit. He talks about three different, what he calls classes of impossibility. You've got class 1, class 2, and class 3. So class 1s are things that we will probably see in the next century or so. Class 2 are maybe in the next millennia. And then class 3s are ones where they have to break the laws of physics as we know them. He does say that it is highly possible that we will break the laws of physics how we understand them today, or will be expounded on, but that's why they're considered class 3. And finally is a book that I got because I thought in between all of my other space books, I might need something a little bit lighter. And so this is my light space nonfiction. This is Packing for Mars by Mary Roach. It is sold as the human experience in space. So if that is what is interesting to you, I would definitely pick up this one because Mary Roach is a journalist and she is very, very good at writing very compelling stories. So the next 4 books are fiction books. The next 2 I'm going to kind of group together because I got them because they are part of the Bailey's long list, and that is Hagseed by Margaret Atwood and Little Deaths by Emma Flint. Now, I've already kind of gone over what these are about. This is kind of a murder mystery-ish. This is a retelling of The Tempest. I'm reading these because I want to read a few books from the Bailey's long list. I'm going to try and get my hands on some of them. Next couple are books that I have seen around BookTube and just wanted to try out. First one is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is a YA book. I have not read a YA book in a really long time. This is following a problem that America is having right now, and follows Star, who is our main character, and she watches her best friend be shot by a cop. This happens within like the first couple pages, so that's not super spoilers. That's basically the premise, is her friend is shot by a cop. He was unarmed, they were driving, he was pulled over. It goes into what happens in the aftermath and what happens to this family and to this community after this happens. And then finally, my last book that I picked up is My Name is Leon by Kit DeWall. I have seen this book being talked about all over the place on BookTube. It follows a little boy named Leon and his journey through the foster care system. He is an older candidate for adoption. He's also a black boy, and his half-brother is white, or appears more white, and is younger, which means that Leon is less likely to be adopted than his younger, fairer-skinned brother. I've heard it's a really, really great story, heartbreaking but good, and I was really interested in this one, so I was super happy when I saw it was available for me to grab, so I grabbed it. So those are all of the books that I have managed to pick up from the library recently. Have you guys read any of them? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are reading currently. Are there any books from your library that you think I need to pick up, or any books that you've bought recently that you think I should look into? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys very soon with another video. Bye! Can you hear that? That's Drew listening to the Moana soundtrack on full volume. He told me he was turning it down. I think he's turned it back up.